welcome to another episode of Hood Wisdom Wednesday. I am your host, Yashika. Here on Hood Wisdom Wednesday, this is like that mid-week check-in where we say, you know what? I need something. I need something to fill my soul, to fuel it, to fill it up, in terms of life, in terms of, handling certain situations that may come up in everyday life or situations that you say, you know what, I need clarity. I need somebody who have lived this experience or have lived something similar to give me a piece of advice. This is the place. Right here on Hood Parenting, you can catch me every Wednesday on Hood Wisdom Wednesday, where I just come up and I talk about things that's needed, things that you can help, that you can use that will help you grow in all avenues of your life. Also, check it out. Like, we are in another month. Like, this episode drops on 1 October, a whole nother month. Listen, if you have been asleep anytime in doing 2025, I'm telling you right now, you didn't miss it. Because when I tell you it is going back quick, it is going back quick. 2025. It's like, well, dang. We was just in the summertime. Already we are about to be in October. So once the holidays start rolling, it's a wrap. 2025 is over. So we might as well start making our New Year's resolutions for 2026. Okay, the ones that we're gonna break come February time frame. All right. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make mine this year and I'm gonna make a different one than what I've been doing previously because the other ones I don't never stick to them. Because I'm not gonna talk about weight or anything like that this year. I'm just gonna go right into, let me get closer to this or let me how we do our New Year's resolutions. Well, listen, today on Hood Wisdom Wednesday, we are talking about, is it anxiety or intuition, and how to tell the difference. How to tell the difference. When we are talking about intuition, this is how I see intuition, right? Everybody might have their own definition of intuition, but I'm going to give you my Yashika definition of intuition. Intuition is that part of you where you don't have a lot of facts about what's going on around you or what's the decision you got to make. In other words, when you are confronted with a situation and your intuition takes over, okay? So say you're walking down an alley one day. I'm just going to go as basic as possible. Say you're walking down a dark road one day, not an alley, but a dark road, right? Your intuition is the part in you that, because of all the things that you've seen, done, experienced, or heard about, right? Your intuition literally stores those things and reminds you, hey, I know you didn't go down a dark alley before, but remember that time your friend told you about the time they went down that dark place? Or remember that time you watched that movie and they was walking down a dark street or a dark alley and then the boogeyman jumped out? Okay, so that's what your intuition there. Your intuition is like them people on your shoulders that's reminding you of the good and the bad, right? Of a situation. So in other words, even though you may not have all the facts, you may not have all the things you need in order to make a sound decision, your intuition is like the scorekeeper. Your intuition is like that inside thing that gives you some type of insight about what you're trying to make a decision about in terms of the situation. That's how I see my intuition. Okay. And so when we talk about intuition, we have to ask ourselves, are we thinking about anxiety that's stopping us from doing certain things, or is it our intuition? And today we are going to talk about the difference between the two. All right. So now your anxiety screams when your intuition whispers. That's one way you can know it. Your anxiety is like, right. And I'm one of the people that I suffer from both. I suffer and when I say suffer, I don't mean in the realms of it's a problem. In other words, I know that I have high levels of anxiety, but then I also know that my intuition will cause me to have anxiety because it's almost like my body will start responding to a situation even before my mind can catch up. Right? It's weird, like really weird. Like literally, my body will start responding to a situation before. Like if there's something that's going on, or say it's somebody that I meet, okay? Especially out here in these dating streets, all right? I don't have to wait on red flags for me to know if this person is a suitable candidate for me to date or not. because it's almost like intuition. Like I can listen to the words that he may say, and the intuition that I have because of the experiences that I have had before will automatically say, "Girl, did you just hear what he said? Girl, did you just hear what he said? You know that's a red flag. That's a red flag." I'm gonna give you an example. One day I was talking to this guy, and he said to me, these were his words, because I was going out of town. And he said to me, "So you always out of town." It was the way he said it, okay? It was the way he said it, which was a red flag to me that let me know that he and I weren't gonna work out. And then the more and more we continued to just have conversations, because at that point we really wasn't having regular conversations. It was like every now and again. The more and more I started to hear his insecurities. And so for me at this big old age, okay, this big old age, I don't have any time to be dating somebody that have low self-esteem or insecurities. Why? Because my intuition, because of past experiences, I know where that can lead to, right? Now, those are the difference. Your anxiety screams and your intuition whispers. And like I said, sometimes your body, like there's certain things that you could just pick up on even before anything else happens. I've even had situations where the hair on my arm stand up. Right? It's like my intuition. It's like I'll start getting nervous. It's like my body is responding even before my brain has time to pick up. And that's how I know that that is definitely my intuition and not my anxiety. So your anxiety screams when your intuition whispers. Your anxiety is one of those things where it's urgent, it's panicky, it's worst case scenario. Like your anxiety automatically start thinking about the worst thing that can happen. It's like your mind go from 0 to 100 real quick. When I tell you 0 to 100 real quick, that's how anxiety is. Anxiety makes you feel like it needs to happen, or if it doesn't happen, it's like you can't sleep. You're thinking about it. It's like, okay, calm down, right? Whereas that your intuition is more calm, it's more steady, it's more of a quick sense of knowing. It's like you don't need any other information, really, right? To make your, when you have a strong intuition about something, you seriously don't need any other information about it. It's like you've already made your decision. Like no matter what you say to me, because of my intuition and I'm calm about it, I've already made the decision, right? It's like I mean, I can't describe how your intuition will guide you. I know for me, like I said, mine will be where I'll like my hair on my arms will stand up, or they'll be like I'll start to see something in slow motion. It's really weird, and that's how I know it's my intuition, because for me life will start happening in slow motion. It's like, and what I mean by slow motion, the best way I could describe it is it's like an out of body experience. It's in that moment that I see life in slow motion. I'm out of my body and I'm looking at this situation that's going on, and I am able to make a sound decision with my intuition because I'm seeing it from like another perspective. I'm seeing it from not being in it, but actually watching it. And it's crazy. But for me, that's how I know when it's my intuition as opposed to my anxiety. Because when something is my anxiety, I can't make a decision. I'm all over the place and I'm not able to see it from the angles that I need to see it in. I only can see it from where I am in the situation. And for me, that's how I tell the difference between where my anxiety is at play and where my intuition is at play. And so, right, why do we often get the two twisted? Here's why. When it comes to trauma rewires our bodies and make us start to look at everything as a threat. And it's just that simple. Anxiety feels familiar. And so when you are in a situation and you start to have like this high level of anxiety, it's almost like a trauma response to your body. Because you already know that, okay, if I walk down this dark alley, there's a possibility that this can happen. This is my anxiety. This is my anxiety plan, right? Because why? Because I understand that trauma has affected me a lot. Enough things in my life has affected me to know that this could be dangerous for me. And so for me, that is my anxiety. Even though it may be a well lit area, in my mind, me being alone is a trauma, is a trauma response, right? I'm thinking from a negative perspective because already I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm alone. I'm out here at night. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. That's literally my anxiety creeping in because I automatically start thinking about the worst case scenario about what could happen as opposed to me saying, okay, girl, you out here and it's dark. But did you fail to mention that there are 100 other people out here too? There's 100 other people walking out here on this street too. Okay, so you're not by yourself. Okay, you are not by yourself. Somebody gonna be able to say something. Right? That's the difference between your anxiety and your intuition. So here are some real life examples between how anxiety shows up versus intuition. Your anxiety will tell you, don't take that opportunity. If you take that opportunity, you'll fail, right? Don't go in front of them people. If you go in front of them people, they will laugh at you. That's what your anxiety tells you. Your anxiety tells you the worst case scenario about something that it believes is going to happen. Whereas that your intuition tells you, okay, this opportunity right now does not align with what I got going on, right? Now is not the time, and that I'll come back when the time is right. That's the difference between your intuition and your anxiety. Your anxiety will tell you anxiety pushes you to hide. Anxiety tells you, well, you know what? I'm not going to do this. I'm going to just, I'm just going to fall away so nobody can see me. Anxiety tells me to run and hide from everybody. Whereas that your intuition guides you to take a pause when you need to. You're not hiding, you're just taking a pause. Those are the difference. Tools to tell the difference between when it's your anxiety and when it's your intuition. One way you can do this is by pausing before you react. When you pause before you react, it gives you a moment to figure out, am I moving too fast? And if I'm moving fast, if I'm moving fast enough, or am I stagnant because of fear or anxiety, or if I'm stagnant because my intuition is telling me it's not time right now. Which one is it? When you pause before you reacting, you can actually discern which is which. You can actually discern whether it is your anxiety that's saying don't do it, or your intuition is saying pause because we need this moment. That's how you know if one is speaking over the other. Also, check your feelings when it comes to the tools you might need to discern between the two. Check your feelings. Anxiety, it tends to be loud and frantic, like somebody's screaming, right? Like I said, my anxiety sometimes have me just feeling like I'm just about to just jump, okay? Whereas that my intuition is quiet. Like I have a real calm over me. It's almost like a red light that goes off. It's like really weird, and it's really dependent on the situation I'm in. But there's times where I know that my intuition, honey, it be so strong that sometimes it scares me. Okay. Sometimes my intuition is so strong that it scares me. And I'll be like, oh, did I just see? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. And so, and so when I think about, tools in order to make the difference between discerning between my intuition and my anxiety, another thing that I do is I ask questions, right? I ask myself questions. Am I stalling, or am I stop? Am I pause because this is protecting me? Or am I doing this because it's keeping me small? Because see, my intuition will do things because it protects me. It protects me and say, okay, Ashika, not right now. Whereas that my anxiety will force me to play small and say, you know what, not ever. Not just right now, not right now, but not ever. That's what your anxiety does. Your anxiety tells you not just right now, but not never, right? Whereas that your intuition says, you know what, you're gonna do it, but pause for a second. This is the time. Give it a little bit of time. You'll know why, because you can feel it. You'll feel when it's real. When we think about our anxiety versus our intuition, some might say, okay, well, why does the two even matters? Here's why they matter. If you move on from your anxiety, you'll keep sabotaging your opportunities, right? So if you move on while you're still anxious about something, then you will sabotage your opportunities, because in your mind, you'll automatically start to think the worst. All right. So this is why this matters, because if you are moving on in anxiety, you will begin to sabotage opportunities that may come your way. Because why? You're basing your response, or how you behave, or how you react, or how you view this situation from a place of panic. Again, from a place of trauma. Like I said before, a lot of times our trauma, our anxiety is rooted in our trauma, right? Our bodies remember what we've been through. And so sometimes, because it remembers what we've been through, it will take some things and just label all things in this category are a threat. And so because of that, if you don't know the difference between when your anxiety is pushing in versus when your intuition is pushing in, you may very well sabotage an opportunity. Why this matters also, if you trust your intuition, you will start making aligned choices. And it's just that simple. When you trust your intuition, you will start making aligned choices, right? When I think about my intuition, it's almost like my sense, that sixth sense, and because that's what intuition is, a sixth sense, right? It's that sixth sense of me that I lean into when nothing else I feel that I can rely on. And so for me, my intuition is, you know what? Forget what I see. Forget what I hear. All right. Forget what I may say or what I might taste. It's what do I feel? When all other things are convoluted or when all other things are scattered, it's what do my intuition tells me. And that's what I go on. That's how I make my decisions in life on a lot of things. It's what my intuition tells me because a lot of times when we are making decisions about certain things or when we are doing stuff, we will either do it from a place of our heart or the place of our head. Never do we use both. And in my mind, your intuition is kind of like the cross between both, right? It's that part of you that knows better and a part of you that reasons, the part of you that understands. Because why? Because of the things that you've seen in the past, you've experienced. It's the process of elimination. Remember, your intuition is the store itself. It's like that store person inside of you that say, hey girl, you remember this, don't be forgetting. Okay, so that's how your intuition shows up, right? And so for me, when it comes to trusting your intuition, you can start making aligned choices when you trust your intuition more. And so for you know what, you got to learn. One thing I will tell people is to learn when their intuition is talking to them. And it's one of those things where it's almost like a voice. I look at intuition literally as a voice, like a voice inside of my head or voices that sit on my shoulders. And when I think about the voices that sits on my shoulders, I think about the little cartoon meme. Y'all remember the cartoon meme where you had like the angel on one side and then you had the devil on the other side? Those are how my intuition show up to me. It's almost like one side of that is my heart, one side of that is my brain, one side of that is my good, one side of that is my bad, one side of that is my whatever, right? It's almost like I see it from these perspectives, right? These two different perspectives, and then who I am in the middle. And so when I think about things that I do and how I make my decisions, that's how I do it. Literally, I look at it like, okay, if I do this over here, okay, am I going with my heart? Am I going with my head? Okay. If I do this over here, am I going with the common sense of what's best? Or am I doing it from a place of self preservation or a place of greed because of it's what I want and it doesn't matter about what anybody else wants? And so when you're thinking about intuition, anxiety, things like that, like I said, when you trust your intuition and when you're really leaned into it, you can make choices. You can make better aligned choices, better aligned decisions, as opposed to making them when your anxiety is saying run, 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 and play small. Okay? And so anxiety drives panic, whereas the intuition directs purpose. And so learning the difference is key to living in clarity instead of chaos. All right. And so listen, I don't know who this is for, but I know that this is for somebody. And if this is your first time here on Hood Wisdom Wednesday, go ahead and leave a comment down below. Let me know that you were here. You did a drive by, whatever. If you agree, don't agree, whatever it may be, let me know down below. Okay. And thank you so much for watching me. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.